All right, we're going to be going on the Cave of the Mountains field trip, and the Cave of the Mountains is in Wisconsin, so it's on the way, past Madison. So Madison's about a little over an hour away, so it's a couple hours away from here. You can see her right here. Um, it's not too bad of a drive. And when you get there, you might want to head to the restrooms over here in the visitors center. These are the bathrooms on all the way in the back there. And where you're gonna go in now, this is the other visitors. This is the other like gift shop. There's two gift shops. So one gift shop, a little tiny one's in this visitor center where the bathrooms are, and there's a bigger one in here, but there's no bathrooms in there. So, and this is where your tour will start. They'll line you up right here. And you can see a bigger one here. This would be going in if you're going in with your parents. You go in here to buy your tickets, or you can go into the other one and buy. I think you can go into either one and buy your tickets, and you'll go down into here. And this is what the gift shops look like. So they have all kinds of rocks for sale, fossils for sale, minerals for sale. They are a little expensive, but they're really nice samples. And I will say that when you get there, these are a bargain. You get a whole big bag of sand with rocks in it, minerals and fossils, and you get to go through out there, and there's water, and you get to sift through and get get your gems. And you can see here's the water going through and how they're sifting through there. It is a fun, and you get a lot of them for the price. Now, before we go, I just before we start our little tour here, I do want to tell you, I want to know at the end, you're going to tell me some things that you think are important. So you might want to take some notes, and maybe on your whiteboard or take a piece of paper and just jot some notes down. Remember, you can always pause the video if you want to get some information from this. Like so, the rock before the cave was there, so you gotta go back in time. Remember, the rock around a lot of Wisconsin is limestone, and this is 450 to 500 million year old limestone. It was an ocean deposit, and we know that from looking at here's those big cephalopods. This is a giant one in the ceiling. So when you're walking down there, look up, you'll see this huge 6-footer giant cephalopod and a shell into there. That shows again that it was an ocean deposit, and this is one solid piece of rock, okay, and limestone. And here's that a little close up of that cephalopod. So they'll point that out to you. Now, remember the cave for millions and millions, hundreds of millions of years was it wasn't there. The cave was not there. It was just limestone, solid piece of limestone for probably 449 million years or something like that. It was a lot of years. So then what happened was, as you can see here, here's a lot of the water coming through, and the water started trickling into openings and cracks in that limestone. And this limestone has galena in it, and we know that galena has sulfur into it. So it mixes with the water and creates like an acid, like a sulfuric acid, and that started eating away at the limestone. And as you can see, then what happened, the water is in there, it's mixing, turning into acid, and it's just bubbling up, and it just keeps building and eating away at the limestone. And this is all water, but it's highly acidic. I mean, it's like an acid-based water. So, and it's just eating away at this rock, and it's making this big opening that's full of water. And then what happened is it whooshed out. There was an opening, the water whooshed out, and it left the cave. And as you can see then, after the water whooshed out and went down a little bit, and then it left this huge opening inside there, and that they discovered later on is a cave. Now this is the beginning of the cave. Again, remember, this is a little hard to understand that This was just one solid piece of 450 million-year-old limestone, and then the cracks formed, and it started eroding it away by eating away with it, and then it whooshed out and left this opening here. Now, because there's opening in here, there's going to be water dripping through here. Water, if it rains, whatever, snow melting would go into there and start dripping and forming mineral deposits onto it. So the cave originally didn't have those stalagmites and stalactites hanging, those big icicle things hanging down. This is an opening. So the cave is more than about 1 million years old. So remember we said that rock was there for 450 million years old. That cave only formed about 1 million years ago, that opening with the acid building up. Now remember, the cave is the rock in there is natural limestone called galena dolomite. Okay, now the stuff that's dripping on here is different. That's like calcite. That's calcite mineral deposits forming down into okay, so a little different. Now, when you go down into the cave, it is cool, the same temperature about all year round, about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it could be a 100-degree day outside, and you go down, it's cold. It's 50 degrees. So you bring a jacket. You might sit there and say, it's 100 degrees. Why am I bringing a jacket down with me? Because it gets cold. Okay, and also during the winter, it's nice down there. Then you might say, "Oh, it's 50 degrees. This is kind of nice." It's the same temperature all year round because underground is a nice insulator. Now, I do want to say stop. I'm going to stop right after this and give you a little break to write down some things, and then we're going to go on, and I'll have another video after this. But I want you to remember the Caver's Creed: take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, kill nothing but time. Now, when you go down there, you cannot take anything. Okay, you can't, take a piece of anything that fell down. You're not going to leave anything but your footprints behind. Like if you have anything that you dropped, you pick it up, and you kill nothing but time, because the oil in your hands does mean don't kill anything by touching it, because if you touch it, the oils in your hand will stop the growth of a lot of those mineral deposits. So okay, now I'm going to give you a couple. I'm going to stop right here because this is a little long. So I'm going to do this video in a couple segments. I want you to write down a couple of things that you learned and that you might want to share on your Flipgrid video at the end.